Good morning, y'all. So it is Sunday morning. What time is it? 8:05. And I just got through watching the Iyanla Fix My Life episode from last night about the woman Nikita who has 6 kids from either 5 different men or 6 different men. And her mother, the grandmother, is actually in custody of 5 of the kids in Milwaukee while Nikita is spreading it low and busting it wide open down in Atlanta with her 4-week-old. And she's only 32 years old, and the last baby happens to be from a married man. The first thing I want to say before we even get into the episode is, you know, I've said this before over the years that I do not believe there's a such thing as bad people, right? I believe that there are people that things have happened to that make them act the way they act. And it kind of made me check myself, because my first initial gut response was, what in the entire hell is wrong with you? How does any of this make sense? Okay, you had 1 child. Okay, mistake. You had 2 children. You know, okay, a mistake. You had 3 kids. Okay, damn girl, a mistake. Okay, but 4, 5, and 6, like, I can't be generous any longer and keep calling these mistakes. You know, it is a pattern. It is a series of bad decisions. And it seems as if you keep making them. Like, in the words of Judge Judy, are you stupid? And it's like, your initial reaction is to be like, to just dismiss this person. Like, girl, you stupid. Ain't nobody got time for this, because to the rational mind, none of this makes any sort of sense. And then when you start to dig and peel back the layers, you realize that, of course, it doesn't make sense, because it's tied to a trauma. And trauma doesn't make sense. And it makes the body and the brain and the spirit and the mind do all kind of crazy things. And that's the case with this young lady. Unfortunately, what I'm not understanding is, you know, why she didn't just stick an IUD in her arm, or you know, some sort of permanent or semi-permanent birth control. But again, I'm asking a rational question of an irrational mind. So maybe it makes me crazy. So Iyanla sits down and talks with her and asks her, why are we here? And she says, to repair my relationship with my mother. And upon first glance, you like, damn right. Of course, your relationship with your mother is going to be strained, because you don't left 5 of your kids on your damn mama. Of course, that lady is mad with you, fed up with you, disappointed with you, this, that, and the third. And Iyanla asked some very interesting questions. Basically, she asked, you know, did your mother teach you anything about a woman? Being a woman, did your mother teach you anything about self-respect? Because honestly, it looks as if somebody fell short somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And granted, parents, I think, do the best they can. But I always say, you can look at a person and tell how they were raised. For the most part, it's not a fail-safe, but more times than not, you can look at somebody and tell if they were raised right, or if they were raised with a shitload of inadequacies. And in this situation, that's the case. We find out that the mother had her at 14. She had no help from the family, and she was just doing the best she can with the little that she had. The most traumatizing thing of it all that really sucked me in is that we find out that at 11 years old, Nakeda is convinced by somebody in the neighborhood that in order to be made a woman, she needs to basically lay down and let 5 boys from the neighborhood have sex with her, ranging from, I think she said, 14 to 20 or 11 to 20. And she says all she knows is that when she went in, it was daytime, and when she left, it was nighttime. And that when she could barely walk, she couldn't sit, and she was bleeding so bad. So, you know, I've got a lot of questions here, and forgive me if this gets graphic. From the boy's perspective, right, I don't understand how you sit down and have sex with somebody that's bleeding. That's number one. I just don't, you know, I don't understand how that happens. I'm trying to put myself back in my 13-year-old boy mind. And even at 13, I think I just had more compassion for human life than to do something like that. Secondly, Nikita never speaks of being held down or held against her will or being forced. She makes it seem like a lot of it was, you know, voluntary. Now, granted, I've never had a vaginal virginity to lose, but a lot of people tell me that it was not that pleasurable of an experience. I'm not blaming her, but I'm not understanding how after the first boy, you know, maybe even the second boy, you just was able to psych yourself out to just lay there and to continue to allow this to happen. Or am I mistaken and she was being held against her will and forced? Again, she didn't lead us to believe that. So I'm just like, you know, wow. On one token, you got to have one hell of a resilient mind to just sit there through that much pain and still tell yourself, I've got to do this to be made a woman, and allow those boys to do that to you. Parents, you got to fortify your kids. You got to lift them up. You got to uphold them. You got to tell them they're beautiful. You got to fortify them, because the fact that at 11 years old, she was just down with that and that susceptible to suggestion by some old peasy head ass little boy from the neighborhood, it says a lot about what she did and did not receive as a child, if that makes any sense. And it's really sad. The mother, Illysha, when she came into the picture and Miss V was sitting down talking to her in the beginning, asking her, how did this happen? What did you teach her? What did you not teach her? What did you teach her about being a woman? You could see the mom was slightly reluctant, because it's hard for us as human beings to take responsibility for something so tragic. You know what I'm saying? And I like the fact that the mom, after a while, allowed her defenses to fall and just hear Miss Van Zandt for what it was she was saying. And I like the fact that Iyanla, when she sensed the defensiveness making TV, as she does, she came behind it and said, listen, Mom, I'm not blaming you. I recognize that you did the best you can, but you have to take some responsibility for what has happened. Give me your story. Then you find out the mom had her at 14, which suggests that the mom's upbringing wasn't that fortified. The mom had been you know, inappropriately touched by someone, so on and so forth. And then it's like, it clicks and it all starts to make sense. Now, the most puzzling thing was, all these years, the mother had been thinking that the daughter had been walking around with one sexual violation, and that's the inspection of her vaginal parts by a older male figure in the family once the mother caught her with a boy. The mother caught her with a boy, called an older male figure, friend or family member, to basically chastise and give the girl a whooping. The man was upstairs and gave her a vaginal exam, looked at her vagina to see if she was still a virgin. And the mother thought all these years that that was the sexual violation that the daughter had experienced. Unbeknownst to the mother, you know, she had been basically ran a train on by 5 neighborhood boys and men. And when the young lady had to speak, when Iyanla told her to confess to her mother what had happened, you could see all the shame and the guilt wash over that woman's face. And she was so hurt, but I also think she was hurt and healed at the same damn time, because she said that she noticed a change in her daughter at 11. And I think getting that one piece of information made age 11 to now 32 all make sense. And I always said, y'all, when things don't make sense, it's because they don't make sense. And there's always that one missing piece of the puzzle that once you plug it in, it all makes sense. I found it fascinating that the mother pinpointed age 11 is when her daughter went awry, had to go to behavioral homes, so on and so forth. And at age 11 is when the sexual trauma transpired. It all made sense. And you could see some anger, disappointment, and guilt wash over the mother, but you could also see some of the burden being alleviated, because again, the confusion was lost, and now it made this daughter's behavior somewhat make sense. The thing that threw me was when Iyanla was getting on Nikita about her 6th child and it being with a married man, how Nikita instantly just got on the defensive and don't talk about him and he's been good to me and this, that, and the third. And Iyanla was like, but he's got bad character. He's married. And she's like, but that ain't got nothing to do with me. And she just instantly went into defense of this man. I find it so heartbreaking that she was more willing to fight for this man that quite frankly don't mean her no good than she was willing to fight for herself. Like, she didn't even defend her own self with that much gut and that much, you know, attitude as she did this man. And it just goes to show that her mind is all twisted in the damn sauce and just so confused when it comes to men. And it's just weird. Again, I'm a male. I can't speak on this issue definitively, but it is puzzling to me that so many women, so many broken little girls, so many broken people out there in the world need the attention of a man to that magnitude. I guess I'm discounting the importance of truly having a father figure and a strong male figure and or figures in your life. But it was just like this, you know, you can look at this situation and tell it's all wrong, but the void in you is just so deep. It's almost as if you're addicted to it. You just have to have it. When she said that she was backing out, she was in her car and a big shiny man just walked by. She couldn't resist. I just had to have it. Like, she spoke of the man as if he was crack. Like, she was like, I couldn't resist. I just had to have it. I'm still lost on what that means because I've never experienced that. However, this episode was particularly special to me because there's somebody in my social sphere right now that is somewhat in the same situation as far as men, and just any old man that smile at them, they draws for and are all in love. And the people around this particular person, we're trying to figure out, why is it just so easy for any old man, I mean ugly man, bummy ass man, man ain't got shit, niggas on bikes, to just say hello miss and you willing to drop your pants for them? Like, what is wrong? And we know that part of the therapy that this person needs is not us calling her stupid, you know what I'm saying? But you get so frustrated with the string of poor decisions that sometimes in a bout of anger you have no choice but to say, like, girl, you look stupid, what are you doing? So this episode did help me a lot in regards to dealing with this person, because it's equipped me now to at least ask some probing questions to try to get to the root of what some of these issues are. I love the prayer exercise Iyanla had the mother and daughter do about praying about what it is that you want. And the mother saying that, you know what, she's got some guilt and she's got some shame. She never finished high school. And Iyanla was like, you know what, I really think that if you finish high school, you would feel, you know, madly accomplished, and it would fortify you to a degree, and you will feel whole, and it will really help you. And, you know, I love seeing Nikita and her mom both get to the root of what some of these issues are, and hopefully being able to mend their relationship. Now, what was troubling to me is that Nikita went through this exercise with her mom and Iyanla, and when the credits roll, she's still engaging or interacting, I'm sorry, with this married man. And it's just like, you know, I think the definition of stupidity is when somebody can sit there and tell you the God honest truth, but you choose to just believe something else anyway. Everything about your situation is wrong. Everything. And perhaps it's going to take some more therapy for her to get some more self-worth and to realize, you know, 6 kids, 6 with a married man. Yeah, he buying you a McDonald's cheeseburger and a Crystal snack, and you know, probably screwing you good, but you're worth so much more than that. And it's just baffling to me that she doesn't see or understand it, because it's so black and white to people like you and I who have not experienced that trauma. When I tell you something, Iyanla is out there doing the work of the kingdom. God is pleased. I love Fix My Life. I love the fact that we've been able to catch the season from the get, and it gives us a reason to talk on Sundays. And Sundays is a good day to have these family talks and these spiritual talks, so on and so forth. So hats off to Fix My Life. Y'all be sure to like and subscribe. Be sure to hit that bell button if you want to get all the phone calls when I call. And I will talk to y'all a little later. Bye.